Hello, everyone. Welcome here. Thank you so much for joining us on this, our very first episode of the uh, blog that we're going to be calling Beyond 2020. Just a look at some of our local people who are involved in the event industry, the entertainment industry, learning a little bit about what COVID and 2020 has meant to them as a business and as entrepreneurs, and how they are planning to move ahead and move beyond 2020. And today, for my very first guest, I have someone very special, near and dear to my heart, Mr. Brenton Thompson. Thank you so much for joining us, Brenton.
Hey, Alan, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Appreciate being in the number one episode, right? The
Number one spot.
pilot, right?
Yes, exactly. The pilot. That's right. How appropriate. So Brent and I go back a number of years. We were working closely for quite a few years. I was his office administrator for Summer Bounce Entertainment. And then funny things happened. Brenton, can you give us just like a 30-second overview? What's your story? What brought you to the place where you were at in 2019? What's your background? What's your story?
Sure, sure. Well, I originally being from Jamaica, involved in tourism and entertainment, and so while going to school, I've always wanted to pursue my dream of being in aviation, and so I moved from Jamaica to Canada, brought my entertainment experience with me, and that actually became the forefront of what we did to build our business. So Summer Bounce Entertainment is an interactive entertainment MC DJ event planning company, and so that's just been something that we've really, really grown with people like yourself and others that have helped us along the way. And then moving, laterally into event tents and event rentals just seemed like a really good fit. So as of now, it's, under the umbrella, we have the entertainment side of things, which is Summer Bounce Entertainment. And then we have Temptation Rentals, which is the event tent, tables, chairs, and all of that conglomerate. And,
Mhm.
just keep growing it, right?
Yeah, totally. So prior to COVID, 2019, what was your model looking like? What was keeping you busy as a business?
Sure. So in 2019, we were definitely trying to recover from, just a few years that were a little bit sluggish. So we were definitely hoping. We had a couple rough spots like any other business, and of course, over the winter time it makes things a little bit harder for us in the event business. And then recently taking on the event rentals, we had some growing pains, probably bigger growing pains than we thought we would have had. So that kind of, pulled back a little bit before keeping things moving forward. And so we had a bit of a rough start. And then we, as we got into like the start of 2019, sorry, not 2019, 2020, then things were looking pretty dire. But we buckled down and we said, okay, we have to do what we have to do to keep things running. Maybe take one step back just to take two steps forward. And so while we were rounding the corner in February, March, beginning of March, things were actually feeling very positive.
Mm.
And then, I think what it was like March 16th, maybe
Yeah,
50. I,
yeah.
I remember where I was. I remember where I was. I was doing a social in Ile de Shane when, it came down the pipe that at midnight tonight, everybody needs to be at home and off the streets, and all of that shutdown happening. So a lot of people at the event I was at didn't show up because they were worried already.
Right.
And then that was it. That was it. I saw the writing on the wall, I guess.
Yeah, like that was a wedding social, right? At TransCanada.
That was a wedding social Chance Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, like even then, people, because like nothing was official yet, so the question was being asked at that point, like, should we still have our event or not? Am I remembering that weekend right? Or is that the following
Yeah,
weekend?
yeah, you're absolutely right. A lot of people were very cautious, but it was almost like, where did this thing come from, and why is it such a big deal all of a sudden? Like,
Mm,
who is Dr. Brent Rusin? Like, this dude shows up on TV 2 days ago, and all of a sudden now he's telling us to stay home. Pff, yeah, right. But yeah, that was the start of the dominoes.
yeah. So like, how did so you were um running a business with a pretty firm product, a firm foundation. You're setting yourself up as no, you were established as I don't know, I would say a premier interactive entertainment company for southern Manitoba and beyond, really, Ontario and even into Alberta. And then suddenly, boom, COVID hits. What happens mid March onward? How did that? How what kind of shrapnel did Summer Bounce take from the fallout?
Sure, sure. Well, if we back up a little bit to March, right at the beginning of March, which would be, right when all of our wedding clients that were interested in us from the wedding show in January and so forth, they were starting to book. So we were actually getting bookings. We were ready. We were like locked and loaded, and the horizon was looking very, very bright. So about 5 days before our news in Manitoba, I saw our friends in the States starting to shut things down, events, concerts, people in production. And I was like, wow, what is going on here? And as soon as things came up on our side of the border and it shut down, it actually sent everybody into a spiral. So all of our clients that were having events from the very next weekend into the next month instantly started calling. And they were not losing their minds just yet, but they were all saying, well, you know what, like this probably blow over in about a week or two, so we should be okay. But if we're not, hey, can we move our event into April? Sure, sure, no problem. April comes. You know what? We're probably going to be good to go by June, right?
Right.
Besides, they've already paid in full. Yeah, 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 no problem. Like we're here, we're ready for you. July comes. You know what? We're probably looking at 2021. And that was the conversation that we had with everybody between March 15th till now. Now we're at October. And so every month, it's just like a recurring theme. I would say probably around July, those when most people said, okay, we're pushing it to next year.
Right.
So that wiped the entire season out. Like we have done five weddings all summer, all year. And we normally do five in a weekend sometimes. So
Wow.
on the entertainment side of things, it's been really slim,
Yeah.
skinny, almost nada pickings. But it's a very tough place because we have clients who've paid us and we're ready to perform their events, but either we can't because of the restrictions, or we can't because they need to make changes, or they've just moved it. So now we're sitting on retainers or balances, but they aren't earned yet. So it's a really tough
Mm,
place to be. You got to keep the conversation open. And then, of course, having clients that they call back and they say, I want my money back. And then we have to get into the legalities of, okay, well, here's how much you get back. Here's how much we keep. And then we have to explain, well, why do you need to keep any at all? It's not my fault. And so, we kind of get into the whole idea of, okay, well, this is business and these are things that we signed off on in a perfect world. But that's when contracts really matter.
yeah.
And then for the entertainment side of things, it being so slow, then the event rental side of things, it hasn't skyrocketed, but it definitely has helped to keep the lights on because a lot of people were scaled down for the size of their events. So then,
Mm,
oh well, let's just do a backyard wedding. Let's just do an event where it's just a small number of people, but we need a tent. So we had a lot of last minute ones like that, but definitely nothing to write home about.
mm.
But it helps. It helps, and it definitely helps that we were able to reduce a lot of our expenses. But mm, this is something else.
Yeah, yeah. And that just reminded me of Facebook conversation that I was seeing in a group where, because so many brides are in this position of, I've paid my deposit, is the terminology that's being used, and
Hmm.
why can't I have that deposit back? And like there's a difference between a deposit and a retainer that not necessarily everyone, at least I know I didn't know the difference until you explained it to me, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So like
Uh, so a lot of people they use the term deposit because you put deposits on things. A deposit is a hold, right? And the idea of it is the same. It doesn't matter what you call it.
hmm,
In a perfect world, the idea of it is the same. It's an opportunity to say, hey, here is my money, which means I'm serious. Please don't sell this away from me, or don't give this to someone else. This is my show of faith, my good show, right? So across the board, no matter what you call it, first payment, it still means business. However, to get into the legality of it, a deposit such like a bank account is yours. You
Mm,
place a deposit in there, you put it there for safekeeping, you make a deposit, but it's yours to take as you please. But in any sort of business that would require services or some expense, whether it be human resources or physical expense of product or just time, but somebody has to get paid for that. No one works for free, especially not the customer who pays you. They don't work for free, but the person who receives that money as the hold or the retainer, they then have to make sure that it's very clear to the client, okay, you're reserving me, so this monies that you've paid or these monies you've paid are non-refundable. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword if you said it's a non-refundable deposit,
right, right, right.
because the deposit is not only refundable, but it belongs to them. They could take it and give it and take it and give it as they please. Non-refundable means non-refundable. You can't get it back. So
Yep.
you have to set it up properly, where it's clear, not deceitful, but just clear. And so us and other businesses, we would generally use the term initial payment or
Mm,
retainer or down payment even is okay.
right,
Right?
right,
You put a down payment on an item, a down payment on a house, but a deposit is not really the correct term to use.
right.
Where you would use a deposit is on our rentals side of things, where we say it is a damage deposit.
Yeah,
As in the
totally.
hotel industry, right? You put a damage deposit, or, in case of incidentals.
Yeah,
Basically, you wreck the place, we take the money. You don't wreck it, you get your money back. But it has to be clear.
yeah, 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 exactly. Huh. So, yeah, 2020 is, uh, I don't know, fair to say devastating? That's not an overstatement, right? That's not being maudlin, melodramatic.
Um, I would definitely say off-putting,
Mm,
but that, like, I think devastating is a pretty strong word, but it depends on
right.
what your outlook is and what your intent is. Um, Devastating to me would mean like I will never recover from this.
Mm,
That's what
ah,
devastating means to me.
yeah,
Off-putting definitely puts you on your heels.
yeah.
Definitely makes you stop and think and second guess what's going on, and also just a lot of fear.
Hmm,
But I wouldn't say devastating.
nice.
There are some industries though that it's going to be really hard. And us, we are one of them. We're going to be the last to recover. But I also think searching for opportunity is important. However, not everybody has that at the forefront of their minds. A lot of people
Right.
have things to take care of and things to look forward to. So I'm pretty lucky that I still have, a close group of people that I can still reach out to and say, hey, you know what do you think of this idea? Or hey, can we make something of this? And then our team or our staff or even just friends and family will kind of step up and say, sure, let's try it, or we'll support it.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, nice. So what's when you look ahead to the future, like what are some of the principles? What are some of the guideposts that you're going to be using as you look beyond 2020 into 2021? What are some of the markers that you're going to be using on your road?
Well, for me, it might sound a little capitalist, but you know what? Like, you got to win. You got to
Mm,
win. Whatever it is, you have to win at it. And winning doesn't mean beating other people. It just means, beating yourself, beating your last milestone, or at least getting back to where you were. And so in our business, I think taking market share is important, because at this point, everybody, business owners and just the clients, everybody's locked up, everybody's not sure what's going on. And so a lot of people have stopped promoting, stopped
mm,
talking, stopped being out there. And so I think this is a really important time where we can drill down on what it is that we do and just show off, right? Show off, show up, and just take more market share, so that when things climb out of the gutter, then we've been there the whole time, right? We didn't shut down, we didn't forget about everybody. And also changing what we do, changing it quickly, change.
mm,
And then, people get tired of that, change it again, keep people on their toes. It doesn't matter what it is, really. It doesn't even have to be related to what you do on a regular circumstance. Just change it so that people are always looking and talking and seeing, um, you know, uh, hey, if they talk good or bad about you, They're still
Yeah.
talking about you.
Yeah. Right. Totally. Totally. What has the um, how is the shift, the addition of virtual content? What has that meant for you as an entertainment company?
Well, I think it was an easy shift, and not to say that, things have been easy for us, because it hasn't. But as a company, we've been doing digital meetings, virtual meetings for years. So, Zoom is nothing new to us.
Mm.
Having that face to face, even though it's not physical, uh, connection with the client has not been hard for us because we've always done it. Recording videos and putting them on Facebook and putting on that show or performance, second nature for us, because that is what we do, just in front of two, three, 400 people. So it's actually easier to make the video. So it definitely forced us to be more dynamic, more engaging, reach out and, grab people and shake them a little bit virtually.
Hmm.
So we've had to push that front, but it definitely came easy because we already had that skill set and we already had technology. We're in entertainment, and technology is a big piece of what we do already.
Yeah.
So this was good to be able to say, okay, well, let's use what we have and let's just put it out there online. And luckily, we've already been online for a while. We just have to turn it up a bit.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. Well, if there is one place that you want to send someone to learn more about you and what you're doing, where should they go? Where should they find you?
Sure. If it's just somebody that wants to be entertained and have fun and try and make it through COVID, then I would say, what? A good place to start is to visit our triviatuesday.ca website, and then they can get involved in the fun and the activities. If it's somebody who wants to plan an event, maybe, prepping for post COVID, whether it be a customer appreciation event or a wedding or a party, then I would say summerbounce.com. And if they want to have some sort of staff event, maybe their team is remote and they want to do something for them, then also summerbounce.com / trivia party. And then that's where they're going to do the virtual part of what we're doing and be able to hire us for their team. And if they just want to talk,
Mm.
want to say, hey, what's up, want to reach out, then we're on Facebook, Summer Bounce Entertainment. We're on Instagram, the IG as they call it. So yeah, we're definitely online. It's not hard to find us at all. Um, yeah, I would
Mm.
say one thing though,
What's that?
because in the event industry, there's a lot of entrepreneurs,
Mm.
and it's an easy business to get fooled into thinking that you can start up with just a small entrepreneurial spark and you're great, you're good. I think that there's a bit of a, actually, I think it's a big misconception, right? If you're in event business and you're a photographer, somebody might say, oh, well, just grab a camera and away you go, right? If you love music and you want to get into the event business, oh, DJ, oh, just get a laptop and away you go.
Yeah.
And it doesn't quite work like that, because you gotta fight, you gotta claw for
Mm.
everything that you have to bring in, and it's always reset, reset,
Mm.
reset. You always have to resell what you're doing to a new client every week, every day, every performance. So it's a lot of starting over.
Mm.
And I think once somebody figures out a way to systemize what they're doing and build off of their successes very quickly, then they'll have a better shot at it. But just to rest on their laurels after they've had one good event because they just came into the business, that's the fastest way to be out of it,
Yeah.
especially now.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. There's no room for half efforts right now.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
When that pie is so much smaller, the slices are not the the slices aren't going to be very big, so you got to fight for what you can get. It's good
Exactly,
stuff.
exactly.
Good stuff. Brenton, thanks so much for chatting and being on the podcast here. Really appreciate that. And I'm going to wish you well, even though I know you don't need my wishes.
No, I'll take them all, man. I'll take them
Because
all. I'll take them all.
you've got so much more going for you, whether it be tenacity, drive, hunger, passion. Um, yeah, I know that you're going to be cranked up to 11 no matter what it is that you're doing, and those are the people who are going to make it. So obviously, I'm going to wish you well, but I know that. you got so much more than my well wishes in your fuel tank there.
Hey man, well, no matter how small it is, I appreciate everything. So
Yeah,
thank you.
you bet. Look forward to hearing more about what you've got coming up down the road. And looking forward to seeing how Summer Bounce Entertainment grows and develops once things are not like they are right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It'll pass. This
Yeah,
too shall pass.
yeah, it will.
Um, my prediction though, 2 to 5 years. 2 to 5 years, like long game.
Yeah.
I think if anybody thinks it's going to be done in under 2 years, they might be kidding themselves. They're wishing for sure, like wishful thinking. But I think right now it's long game time because the commerce and economy is very important to
Mm,
the just the country to life, right? And so think of it this way: business and what we do is gas in the tank.
mm,
It's cash flow. If we stop doing business, people stay home and they stop spending money, the car runs out of gas. It just does. It's a great car, amazing machine, ultimate driving machine, right? But you need gas in the tank, and that's where people like you and I
mm,
come in. Getting creative and trying to make business work. And sometimes business doesn't mean money, right? But it means commerce. It means relationship. It means exchanges. And so it's very, very important that we drive, right? But it's kind of hard to drive a business when you don't have any money. So, you really got to put a lot of energy and effort and heart into it and call in a lot of favors and also, have really good relationships because in the end, relationships are going to drive everything.
mm. Yeah,
So,
yeah, no
yeah.
kidding,
Thank you though, Alan. And I wish you good luck with the podcast. I know you'll be great. You'll be great.
eh?
You know, you've got the best of both worlds. You got the performance side of things and you have the intellect. So
Hmm.
it'll be good.
And a good mentor too.
Ah, whoever,
Okay.
whoever she is, she be great.
Okay, you take care, bud. We'll talk to you again later.
All right. Bye
All right,
bye,
take care.
Alan.
Bye.